Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually start with Tony's, just because I know where he's at and what he's got going on here. So Tony, I know you were also going to go sign up for an email account real quick. Yeah, no problem. So let me go ahead and show my screen here.
I'm here, Travis. I'm just going to go on mute, just to let you know.
Okay, great. Thanks. All right, so can everyone see my screen here where I've got Tony's account pulled up? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and we're just going to go through.
I don't see your screen yet, buddy.
Okay.
On my side.
People in the group are saying yes, so.
Okay, not a problem. Then go ahead. If everybody else can see it, we're good to go. I'll figure out my problems.
All right, sweet. So, all right, so with Tony, he's targeting pregnant women because he's giving away a swaddling blanket. So he needs to target people that are either actively pregnant or their friends that are going to be potentially purchasing his product from Amazon as a baby shower gift, and mothers might want to purchase his product for the day they have their baby, or when the baby is still an infant and they want to be swaddling it in a blanket. So as you can see here, he's already gone through all the different steps from start to finish. Now, Tony, I actually do have a surprise for you here. While you're using our default template, I think that's great. I'm a big fan of that template, but I actually had our development team add something recently that I specifically because I knew that it would be helpful for your contest and for others. And so I'm actually going to temporarily switch you to one of our classic templates, and I'll show you why here in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and switch him to the classic template. As you can see here, he has some stuff in here. Adding a logo is something that you can decide to do or not. We've actually found that logos can sometimes negatively impact conversion rates. But if you really like to have it, that's fine. And then he has a featured image here, which since I changed the configuration on him without him knowing. So he'll probably want to change this afterwards. Now, the reason I switched to this specifically is because I know that a big point of marketing data for him is likely going to be knowing when a baby is due, because that's going to be a big point as far as understanding the purchase life cycle of your customers. And if you use that date, you can do some fancier stuff in the future as far as emailing about, hey, today's the big day that the baby is supposed to be born, and potentially do some other marketing around that. Now, the feature that we added, going to the opt-in fields here, and for those of you who might have other date-based stuff, this could be interesting, is we actually added a date picker. And so I'm going to go ahead and add one of these. I'm going to say maybe when's the baby due? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And while we do have the enable tab, I'm going to go ahead and actually just open this in a totally new window here by itself. And a little trick here is to just put in a P, and that will launch it as a preview mode. So let me just make sure this is included and required. Go ahead and save. All right, so it looks like part of that is getting chopped off. It's a new feature, so let's go ahead and go in here and maybe just say baby due date. So that'll be a little bit shorter. Okay, so can everyone see this? I might be going a little fast, so if I'm going fast, just let me know. And okay, everyone can see this, great. So what you can see that I've done here is now, yes, he's asking for name and he's asking for email, but now he also has the ability to ask for a baby's due date. So they get this nice clean date picker. And the big benefit here is this is going to give a consistent date as far as the structure that it's recorded into his email provider using a date picker. So if someone was due, June 10th, they could just put that in here. And this is how it'll be recorded into a custom field. So you can use that as a merge variable later on, whatever you want to do. But thought that was kind of cool. And so we added that specifically for you. Now, let's go ahead and break down the actual opt-in offer here. So, Tony, I know that one thing that we talked about last time was your question about, do I pick a specific brand that people get, that people can use for their spa, or do I try to keep it more generic? We had said, hey, let's go a little more generic because we want you to be able to go national with your campaign. So that's totally the right angle. Now, let's just sort of break this down piece by piece. And Kurt, you can feel free to jump in here on the copy part. I'll read it out to you if you still can't see it. So
yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great. So he says, pamper yourself and a friend with an afternoon of facials, manicures, and pedicures to the value of $350. Now, I like that you have the value in here. However, if someone is just going to read the headline, right? If someone were just to read the headline, there's still nothing in here about your core market, which is pregnant women, right? So, Kurt, if we were to reword this, and this, I'd love your feedback on this. We want to try to convey that, relieve the stress and pamper yourself as a mother to be, or as an expecting mother. Give yourself a day of pampering with a friend, up to $350 in value, something of that nature.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's good.
Okay, so let's go in here and just go right into the opt-in offer and say, how do we want to put this specifically? Okay, so maybe as an expecting mother, pamper yourself and a friend with an afternoon of facials, manicures, and pedicures, and then just call it a $350 value. So we want to make sure that this is, a header. Let's go ahead and see how this looks. All right, it's a little big. That's all right. Let's go ahead and trim this down a little bit. Make it an H2. All right, do you have any critiques on this language so far?
No, I think it's good. At the end of the day, as I tell people all the time, the $350 value, it's cool, but people don't know what the value is until they can see it. It's like when you go to Costco and you buy something for $6 and it's like this drug you can't reach your arms around. Now, it could be filled with sawdust that costs a penny, but I'm making that up, right? But you're like, oh my God, I got the greatest deal in the world. So because it's not tangible, they can't see it, it's hard to place the value on it of $350, right? So what I really feel when we write copy is I want to really appeal to the emotions as much as possible, and then say the retail price $350. So as an expecting mother, pamper yourself, or something along the lines of, are you an expecting mother? We would love to pamper you and a friend for the afternoon. And let's think about some emotional words before facials, manicures, and pedicures, right? Are you expecting mother? Let us pamper you and a friend with an afternoon of, and I'm going to make this up because I don't know much about facials and manicures and pedicures. I have had a pedicure with my niece, and I will tell you, Travis, let's just be open here. Travis, have you ever had a pedicure?
I have not, but my fiance keeps trying to convince me to.
You have to. Like my brother told me, and I'm like, I'm open to try things. It's a little weird. Oh my goodness, it is some of the most comfortable, relaxing. Go with your fiance, make her happy, and you'll like it. So something about an afternoon of, you would know this more than I, Travis, not you, but as we're going over this example, is what would be an emotional word we could put for facials, what would be an emotional word with manicures, and what would be an emotional cure or an emotional word with pedicures. And what I do is I look back over at our avatar and I start thinking, okay, if I was to sit down with June's an expectant mother, let us pamper you. You all know that expectant mothers love that, and a friend, with an afternoon of, so that's great description, or a relaxing afternoon. How about that? A relaxing afternoon. A relaxing afternoon of, any idea for the emotional words for facials? Relaxing?
What if we just say a relaxing afternoon in the spa?
A relaxing afternoon in our spa, which will include...
Yeah, this might get a little long because it's not a very wide template. That's okay.
It's all right. Which will include, and I don't know what they all are, if it's sun tanning, facials, pedicures, manicures, massages, whatever that is.
Okay, let's try this.
Just put one real quick thing. Our spa will include.
Mm-hmm.
Go back real quick to the template. For our spa will include. So it is an expecting mother. Let us pamper you and a friend with a relaxing afternoon at our spa, which relaxing afternoon at our spa will include in our spa with, how about this, with complimentary. Even though you're saying free twice, just put in our spa with complimentary. Just put those two words in there. No, I'm sorry. Leave everything else, including facials, manicures, pedicures. It's funny because, like, I'm pointing to my screen, which obviously no one else can see, right? I'm like, no, hang on a second. So, yeah, you and a friend with a relaxing afternoon at our spa, with complimentary. So just to take out including, and just type in the word with complimentary. Facials, manicures, and pedicures. That's it. And if you want, you can put $350 value.
I think we can just talk about the value down in the description.
It's good.
Okay, so let's just take a look at this. See how this looks. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yep. The more emotion that I can write into something, people relate with emotion more than they understand value. Value is logic. So remember, we want to lead with emotion. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in my presentation, and then give some supporting documentation as well too.
Okay, so now let's make the description a little sexier. Okay, so he originally said, before the joy of your newborn arrives, treat yourself and a friend to an afternoon of a facial, manicure, and pedicure in your local area. This pamper package includes a set of our swaddle receiving blankets to wrap your precious newborn baby as soon as you welcome them into the world. The total prize value is $420. Okay, so there's good components to this, but I think we can sex it up a little bit. All right, so we've already told them, an expecting mother, ? Let us pamper you and a friend with a relaxing afternoon at our spa with complimentary facials, manicures, and pedicures. So, Kurt, just to brainstorm here, we want to put the mother up on a pedestal a little bit here, right? So, we want to also have be able to connect with them a little bit. So, saying, we understand that, I want to find a way to basically say, we understand that there can be, a lot going on in your life right now, and that it could be stressful being a mother and trying to make sure that all your things are taken care of. And you've been so focused and worried about the new life you're bringing into the world that let's take a day to focus on you instead. So I'm trying to find a way to say that in the body copy here.
So what I always do is I always go back to the conversation that I would have with June, right? What would I say with June? So pregnant mom sitting in front of me, lots of customers that come in. What is that exactly? So I would think about some of the emotions that's coming up. So you're excited and you're really nervous, right? So I would start leading with how can I relate to people emotionally. Now, the first thing I think it's going to be, obviously, you're expecting mother. Life is going to get really exciting and very busy in a very short amount of time. Spend some of the precious few moments you have left, quietly relaxing with a friend at our spa. So I start thinking about what's the exciting stuff going on with mom, and then relaxing. Because I know people like to relate with pain, and I completely understand where you're going with your feedback, Travis. Like a lot of times I feel people relate to pain more than they relate to pleasure, but I like to speak of pain generally versus, hey, what it's like when you feel, versus dedicated versus a kind of a third-party edification, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say something like, as an expectant mother, your life is about to change in something like in an incredible, miraculous way.
Your life is about to transform.
Perfect.
With the joy, and I'll use some of his copy here because it's not, his copy is not bad. We're just trying to extend it a little bit. So your life is about to transform with the joy of your newborn baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and then you may put like right here, like what I would put, and I'm not a master copywriter. I just like to write what I think in emotion, which is like I may put right after here. It's just what I do. As you know, you may never sleep again, or as you may know, you might not sleep for the next 2 years, or you might not sleep for. So the expected mother, your life is about to transform with the joy of your newborn baby, and something like along the lines that I'm paraphrasing, and as you already know, once the baby gets here, sleep is going to be a thing of the past. Let's give you the ability to relax now with a friend, in our spa on us or something like that. What I'm basically targeting for the feeling is like when I've sat around, and I don't attend a lot of these, but when I've sat around like a baby shower, it is, oh my goodness, the baby's coming. How exciting, how cute, let's get cute stuff. Oh my goodness. And Travis, you'll be going through this soon, possibly very soon too. It is, let's go take that, what do they call it? Pregnancy vacations. The last vacation you take is basically a couple before kids are into the mix, right? So I start thinking of some of those emotions. Like, this is the time where you're really able to connect with your friends. Like, let's really focus time on you. And maybe this is a line. And again, this is why we have the conversations with our advertisers. Let us reward you for being you and a beautiful expected mother, while we pamper you and a friend at our spa that includes, let us reward you now, maybe even say as a beautiful expecting mother, let us reward you as a beautiful expecting mother with a relaxing, complimentary afternoon or day at the spa. Let's figure out an emotional word before friend. With like a great friend, a close friend. And then I would just add a couple of other little words, and after you hit the period, which is, this day is dedicated to you as you transform into that amazing mom you'll be. Because here's the thing, is when people are pregnant, they just feel, if there's any ladies on the phone, please correct me. Come on out and say that. Say, Kurt, you're wrong. But just understanding feelings and everything else, it is, I feel like a house. I'm huge. Nobody else appreciates me. I got lots of stuff going on, lots of hormones changing as well, too. So I'm just really focused on the words. I just want to appreciate you. I just want to tell you how much I care about you. I just want to take care of you. That's really what I'm focused around.
And I liked what he said here about including, setting up the premise of his blankets.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Tony, hopefully you aren't taking this rough or anything. You did a great job laying the foundation here. We're just helping you expand it a little bit. Let's take a look at how this kind of lays out. All right, an expecting mother, let us pamper you and a friend with a relaxing afternoon at our spa with complimentary facials, manicures, and pedicures. As an expectant mother, your life. Oops, I didn't. I hate when people do that. I use the wrong your. All right. As an expectant mother, your life is about to transform with the joy of your newborn baby. And as many mothers already know, relaxation and sleep will be at a premium once your baby is welcomed to the world. Let us reward you as a beautiful expecting mother. I feel like we could probably remove some of that because it's just saying it again. We can reward this stage in your life, maybe. Let us reward.
Are you saying that your fiance doesn't like to hear that she's loved and appreciated over and over and over?
No, but we can find another way to say it.
You're exactly right, and that's really important. Is not always using the same word, but just a different frame. Because really, at the end of the day, people just want to be loved, justified, and validated, and that's really what we're doing here in our ad copy.
Yeah, let us reward this wonderful stage in your life with a relaxing day at the spa with a close friend to enjoy a complimentary facial, manicure, and pedicure. I think that's better.
I think that's awesome.
This day will be completely dedicated to appreciating you as an amazing mother. We'll also be including a set of our swaddle receiving blankets to wrap your precious newborn baby as soon as you welcome them into the world. So Tony, how is this sounding? Mom to be was Anne's suggestion. Excellent. I'm going to use that as on this second to last part here. So this day will be completely dedicated to appreciating you as a mom to be. Let's try this. Great. I think this has come together pretty well. What do you think, Kurt?
I like it. Yeah, I think it's great.
And Tony says in all caps, love it. Great. Good. So now, as you can see, this sets the stage, because before, right? So keep in mind, we didn't change the prize at all here, right? The prize was the same. The message was more or less the same, but we're leading off right at the start with who you're trying to connect with as your avatar, right? So before it was just a spa, and it wasn't clear right away that it was all about babies and pregnant mothers, right? So now it nails that multiple times. Expectant mother, mom to be, wonderful stage in your life, and as Kurt clearly pointed out, this circles back to focusing on how great they are and how impactful this part of their life is going to be, and gives them the sort of for lack of a better description, princess treatment they might be looking for at this particular stage. It allows you to capture their name, their email, and even ask for the due date. Right. So I think this is excellent. Now, as far as your featured image goes, Tony, I don't know, what graphic skills you might have. First of all, anyone out there who's using a Mac and wants to create some basic images, I highly suggest you check out. It's called Pixelmator on the Mac App Store, so that you don't have to go out and buy Photoshop or anything. But this will be the best $30 you ever spend when it comes to creating an image. It's like a Photoshop designed for real people. So I don't have a solution for you guys on the PC side. I know there's a couple different tools. I'm a Mac user, and this has been probably the best software investment I've ever done personally. So if you're looking for a way to make a featured image, this is the way to go.
Yeah, and just to be clear, is if you feel that you can't make images, like I have zero artistic ability, I actually just use PowerPoint and screenshots, and it embarrasses my business partners. If you haven't heard of it, we use it all the time, and sometimes it's just so easy we forget about it, is Fiverr, Fiverr.com. There are amazing people that will do stuff for $5. So if you feel, here's the thing is at the end of the day, Fiverr, it's $5. So like I tell my business partner, he's like, I can just do it on my own. I'm like, dude, you are part of an owner of the company. Now, besides that just being a title, you have lots of stuff to do. Why don't you just pay someone $5 and look at it versus you screwing around with it for a half an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour? If you enjoy it, do it because you'll do it with consistency. If you don't enjoy it, you won't do it, which means you won't move forward. Just pay somebody $5. So if you like it, do it. If you don't, pay someone $5 on Fiverr. If you have any questions about that, post that in the group. I'll record a little video on it. But I don't know about you, Travis. Man, I've used Fiverr for a lot of different tasks.
Yeah, I mean, before you even said Fiverr, I actually kind of guessed that's where you're going to go. So I pulled it up here on the screen. Yeah. But
it's funny, like when we're at different events and we say, go to Fiverr, and people are like, what? Oh my goodness, I had no idea. And I'm like, it's like opening Pandora's box. You can do birthday wishes and have people write stuff on their back and take it for happy birthday, or do, like my brother, for instance, hired a guy who sounded like Morgan Freeman to read like the anniversary video of a friend of his. You can get crazy stuff off of Fiverr. Highly encourage you to check it out if you haven't already done that.
Yes, that's definitely a great option. If you feel like doing it yourself, if you're feeling a little more ambitious, if you're on a Mac, check out Pixelmator. It's amazing, to be quite frank. I was always the guy who watched people using Photoshop, and it was like Fantasia to me. You watch someone that's good at Photoshop, and it's just like, oh my God, how are you doing all that? You're just magic. Pixelmator made it so, I'm not at that level, but it's something that made it much more accessible for me. So definitely worth considering as well. Okay, so that's enough time on that. But what I want to say is, in this featured image, Tony, I see you got this, spa facial sort of thing going on. What you want to also do is you want to probably show a picture of someone who's pregnant. You want to, the facial stuff, the facial manicure, pedicure type images are great. But also what I noticed that's conspicuously missing is a photo of your product, right? Perhaps a baby swaddled in the blanket that you're ultimately trying to sell.
That's good.
So that's one thing that's clearly, like, because right now I have no idea that you sell swaddle blankets, other than the fact that it's in the copy here, which is as much as it should be, which we just went through. But I don't know that that's what you do necessarily. And so by the time you hit me on the follow up, which is great, that for a lot of people, since we talked about, they're going to read this, and then they're going to read, maybe this, and yeah, they might read this, but they might not get that this is what you do. The swaddle receiving blankets, they may think you're a spa only. That means that most people won't even sink in until the first time they read it in a follow-up email. So I would like to see a photo here where it includes it. I think that would definitely be beneficial. And you know what, let's go ahead and go in here. And I know that you had included a logo. I'm assuming this is your logo. So let's go ahead and don't do a link here to Amazon. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. So even though this takes up some space, I think in your case, so that we can really push this correlation of your brand and the swaddle blankets, I don't always recommend this, but for you, I recommend that we go ahead and include the logo. All right, does that make sense, Tony? You on board with what you got to do here? But I think this is a big step forward for the opt-in page. Great. Okay, so let's go to the next step. So after the opt-in offer, they have the email referral step. I'm not actually going to enter it, but we can pull it up here. Let's take a look at the email invite. So I love that you turned on this feature. Those of you who watched the how-to video that I made definitely said, hey, you do this function. A third of all referrals that we see come through is from this feature. So that's huge. So this email is designed to be written from a friend to a friend, right? So that's why it's written short and sweet. That's why we see such a nice response rate. Now, when you think about that, we have a merge field here. And so we merge in the contest link, the name of the person who's sending the invite, when the contest ends, all that kind of good stuff, right? And that is certainly better than not having that at all. Now, the only thing I suggest that you replace our merge field with is the part where we have contest prize, right? Because that just pulls it from the sponsor section, and you want this to read like more natural language. And then you can also then slightly tweak this copy to apply for your specific scenario. So Tony, in your case, you are giving someone, the facial, manicure, and pedicure for them and a friend, right? And in fact, our software can even reveal the person that referred the winner. So what we want to say here is, hey, I just entered this contest for a day, let's say a complimentary day at the spa, and say facial, manicure, pedicure, and thought I'd let you in on it too. If I win, I'd love for you to be the friend who comes with me. Okay, so you see what I did here is I replaced the merge field where it said contest prize and actually wrote out what I might say in a basic email like that. Like, hey, I just entered this contest for a complimentary day at the spa, facial, manicure, pedicure, and thought I'd let you in on it too. If I win, I'd love for you to be the friend who comes with me. Okay. And so, they're going to probably catch on, hey, I'm going to go check it out, enter. We're actually, I know there's a customer right now that's running a contest that 100% of people who've clicked through this have entered. That's obviously towards the top end, but 50, 60, 70% of people who click these invite links on average actually enter the contest. So that's going to be huge for you. So, because the other thing you want to remember, Tony, in your case, is you may be having people enter this that are going to be going to baby showers, et cetera. So maybe they're going to be sending this email invite to the pregnant mothers, right? And so that's why we want to keep the wording probably how we do. Okay, cool. So there's not much else to do here. It's pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and save and continue. All right, so now, looks like these little errant question marks snuck in here. Let's go ahead and clear those out. Okay, so this is again pulling that same headline you had before. So I'm gonna go ahead and just save this for a second. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna grab the contest title. Okay, and this is gonna be too long for Twitter, most likely. We can test that here in just a second. So maybe say, okay, so I just shortened that up. An expecting mother entered to win a complimentary facial, manicure, and pedicure for you and a friend. All right, so I think that, because this is just going to be the social media version. All right. The other thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm actually going to go grab normally this would autofill the first time you go through it. I'm going to go ahead and grab that contest description. I'm going to update the description here for Facebook as well. All right, so Tony, so another thing I'm noticing here is you don't have a custom Facebook share image. So if you're picking up a tool or you're using Fiverr or whatever, we give you the dimensions and the file size maximum. So when you're having someone create an image for you for that featured image, have them create a second version that meets this criteria, the 1200 by 630. So that way when someone shares this on Facebook, it's actually going to have a nice, big, high-resolution photo that's going to go along with the prize. So it's going to have that spa-related stuff, a pregnant woman, and your actual product. And that way it will actually take up a nice big chunk in the newsfeed. And we also see that there's a lot more engagement and click-through when a photo is there as well. So if we're talking about optimizing, this is also another good place you can drop in that image and do that as well. All right, so let's talk about the redirect call to action. So if you guys remember from the video that I created, there's an opportunity to create an additional button on this last step that directs them to an immediate offer. So Tony, if you can go ahead and drop me the link direct to your Amazon product, we can go ahead and paste that in here. And so what I would want to do here is I would say maybe continue to, and forgive me for not knowing your product name here. I know you had that link before on the logo, which I nuked because the logo was not the right spot to do this. But here's where you want to link to your product on Amazon. So Tony, if you're there, paste me the link to your product on Amazon. Boom. here we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just grab this URL. And we're gonna paste this bad boy in here. If you have your own landing page, that might not be a bad idea, but for now, for the sake of simplicity, I'm gonna link directly to it. Okay, so these are organic swaddle receiving blankets. So we could just leave this as a normal continue if you just want to leak some traffic off to Amazon. We can also try being more specific. So let's see here. Continue to see how this looks. So I'm going to do save and preview right here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the social share step. And so when someone lands on this page after entering, what they would see is they would see the number of entries they have, which, this is allowing me to sort of skip ahead to the social share step. So it says 0. Tells them they can earn additional entries to win. And then you can see here we have a button. So you know what? In this case, I think I'm just going to keep it more simplistic, and I'm just going to leave it as continue. Because I think in this case, we know that traffic's qualified coming in. So in this particular case, I'm going to just leave it as continue, so that when they hit this page, they think that they're not quite done with the contest, and they'll click continue, which will put them onto your order page, right? Now, obviously, you're not going to see, a crazy percentage of these convert right away, but this will get qualified traffic onto your purchase page. So that's good. Yeah, any of these pictures right here, like this, would probably be a good example that you want to include in your featured image. Definitely, something like this. And I would also include this in your Facebook preview image. All right, Tony. So cute little babies in swaddle blankets. I mean, this is speaking to your audience, right? Fantastic, cool. So you guys may have noticed also that on this redirect call to action, I clicked to hide the sponsor section. I know some of you really want to generate more Facebook likes for your fan page. I understand why you might want to do that. In this case, I think it's more important to leak more of that traffic off to Amazon. If you didn't check this, I'll just show you. So if we uncheck this and you go into the social share step, you can see it sticks this extra step between what you want them to do and the continue button. So let's trim this up as much as possible. So Tony, I can just tell you from experience that LinkedIn and Google Plus probably aren't going to be your marketplace. So I'm going to do a couple things here. One is I'm going to uncheck these. And then I'm also going to hide this, especially since it's a brand new business page for you. Having 0 there is sort of actually negative social proof. So now if we save and continue and we go to the social sharing step, as you can see, it's nice and tight now. So they go right from how many entries they have, how they can earn additional entries, allow them to share on Facebook, Twitter, copy this for their own email invites that they want to send out, or instant messenger, etc., text message, and the continue button. So this has really been tightened up. We cleaned out the things that are going to be low value and focus on the things that will be high value for you. I can also tell you from experience that Twitter typically has a very low conversion rate, especially compared to the email referral invite or Facebook. But the awareness that Twitter can bring by people seeing it in their feed can potentially be huge, so it's worth including. All right. So, okay, so we got this all tightened down. Now let's go and take a look at your settings. Now, I know that I had you go enter or set up a quick account. So let me pull up another window here, and I'll show you guys in just a second. Let me just sign in and use these credentials you gave me, Tony. Because this is going to be important for the next portions. I'm going to show you guys how to optimize the actual confirmation settings so you get more double opt-in subscribers. All right, Tony, I'm just going to save your login temporarily, and then I'm going to delete it after we're done with this. You can feel free to change your credentials as well. It's a brand new account. All right, great. Okay, so I just logged in over here. That should make it easier. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the integrations, and we're going to edit mailing list. We're going to pick Aweber, and we're going to connect to Aweber. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and, oh, come on. Yeah, it was just freaking out because I was using the autofill. Okay, so as you can see here, we've now connected to Aweber. So if I go back to Aweber, and again, this is, a brand new account. So there's nothing in here. So we're literally showing you from scratch. So, okay, we don't want all this. Okay, so let's go ahead and manage lists. Let's create a list. This is all fine. List name. So maybe let's call this Swaddle contest follow-up, perhaps. Okay. Okay, I know this probably feels a little menial, guys, but yeah, that's all right. So yeah, that's fine. And I'll actually show you how to edit this in just a minute. Okay, so we created a contest list. Now I'm also going to go in and create another list. Let's just call this our main marketing list. It's called our master list. I'll show you why this is important. How many of you in here are using Aweber currently? Any of you? Any other ones? Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. So this is going to apply for all of you guys. All right, so you're on the main marketing list of Hatchel. We make amazing organic swaddle blankets. And the same principle applies for those of you that, it looks like most of you on here are on this, so that's great. Okay. Same principle applies even if you're using, MailChimp or whatever. Okay, so let me just go here, refresh this page. As you can see, it already knows the extra lists. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into this editor, look into integrations. Now it says Aweber is enabled. Fantastic. So I'm going to do the Swaddle contest follow-up list. Ta-da. Okay, we don't need the webinar or mobile integration for this. Okay, now we have baby due date. So this is a custom field. So let's go into the contest follow-up and custom fields. And let's say baby due date. Okay, so it added it. So let's just refresh this page. Boom, baby due date. So now when they fill out the form and they submit a name, email, and then they use that date picker, they will have a place to record baby due date. And you see how we try to make this so that you don't, it's hard to screw it up. So by having the baby due date here, it'll record that correctly. Okay, so now we're going to get into the custom domain, which you don't need, and then confirmation settings. Okay, now here's the pro tip for those of you that are in Aweber. This is big, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go also add a baby due date field to here. so they're consistent. Again, coming back to consistency. Okay, and now I want to do some list automation. So we want to subscribe to list Hatchel master list when subscribing to swaddle contest follow-up. Okay, so those of you on Aweber, is this making sense? What we're doing here is we set up a list specific for the contest, and we set up a master list. Okay, this is where a list of everyone that you're going to be able to market to is listed. Now, the reason that we created a rule so that when people subscribe to the contest, they're also subscribed to the master list is so that you can do, unique follow-ups for each contest, and then you can delete that list, but you'll still have every marketing contact on there in this master list, so that when you go to create the new contest and you create a new list for that new contest, everyone who's in your existing database can still enter and go through a normal confirmation flow without being disruptive. And you always have the master list here at the end, so that when you're done with the specific follow-up on that new contest list, when you're done with it, you can delete it. Does this make sense? Yes, 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 everyone's good. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this automation rule. All right, now we're going to do the confirmation settings for the swaddle contest. So let's go into the list settings here. Okay, and now we have our normal stuff here. Then you have list personalization, and then you have the confirmed opt-in. And what you'll see down here on the confirmed opt-in is a success page where you can do a confirmation success page URL. So hopefully everyone's still with me, because what you want to do here is in the confirmation settings, we actually give you a confirmation link. So for this particular contest, I'm going to copy this confirmation link. I'm going to go in here to the success page and paste it in right here. Everyone with me? Yes? Say no if you're confused. Say yes if you're with me. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Okay. And so here we can go ahead and edit this and say, please click the link below to confirm your entry into our spa contest for you and a friend. Okay. And Scott, thank you, Tony Ainsworth. And so you may want to try doing, request approval for a subject line like confirm your entry. I've seen that be hit or miss on them approving, but you can try different things, but this is okay for now. It's a pre-approved. Let's go ahead and save that setting. So since we know when someone opts in, they're going to get this double opt-in confirmation. And when someone clicks that double opt-in confirmation, they're going to go to the contest confirmation URL. So what that means is in here, I want all leads to confirm their entry. So that means unless they double opt in, they won't be considered as a potential winner. But because we've configured an Aweber account, there's no reason to have them get an Aweber confirmation request and a confirmation request from us, because we just streamlined and optimized that by putting this link in here. So instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to click, I will configure my Aweber account to automatically send the confirmation email to the lead. Okay, so does this make sense for everyone? This is more of the pro thing. This is why we're spending a day on optimization. All right, so we can go ahead and do that. Click yes. You can install into a Facebook page. We're not going to spend the time to do that, but here you go. All right, so at this point, let's go ahead and actually just have this start now or yesterday. Click save. And now we can go to the real live version, the C version, not the P version. And as you can see, other than the fact that Tony, you just need to get that featured image dialed in, as well as the Facebook share image, you have a pretty tightened up experience here with copy and branding, etc. And now all you'll need to do is go into this contest follow-up and create a follow-up series, right? Create a follow-up series that thanks them for entering. If you want to link them back so that they can share the link again, just go grab the same URL from the confirmation. All right. So because this is going to be the same for everyone. So this is the URL when you're saying, hey, make sure you go back and share to earn more entries. This is the link you want to do. And then you'll be prepared. And then we'll talk about how to do the follow-up offer, et cetera, when it comes time for that. So hopefully that makes sense for people. Does this answer some of your questions on the process on how to refine and optimize this? Do you guys have questions about your specific contest? We don't have time necessarily to go through it end to end like we just did here on Tony's, but I wanted to spend time going through showing you how to do the optimization on the email side and showing you why it matters for the copy to tailor it for the specific avatar that you go after. So everyone seems to be good. Okay, great. Well, do you guys have any questions? This is the time to do it. All good? No questions? Okay, Kurt, I'm sure you're muted over there, but do you have anything you want to add? I know we're getting short on time here, but this was sort of an end-to-end optimization, and everyone seems to be good to go, unless you have something in particular you'd like to add. If you're still there, perhaps. Let's see here.
Oh, sorry, I had another call coming in. I'm like, how do I get rid of this call so I can take this one? So sorry, in that weird limbo state of trying to get on mute. So really, because next week what we're going to be talking about is running some likes as well, which helps qualify the audience even more. Let me ask you just one quick favor. You have a way to publish directly to the tab, is that right?
I do. Yep.
Facebook tab. Would you mind showing people how to do that? Because I'm going to show them, I'm going to actually give them videos early, but I'm going to train next week on how to run likes. What we do is we show people how to pre-qualify their audience, but typically I have people send their likes directly over just to their regular page so you can engage with engagement. But since we're talking about contests, let's talk about building likes so we can quantify our audience. It's a good, cheap way to qualify the best keywords and audience, but let's just send everybody straight to that tab so they're going to see the contest right away. They would get really cheap ads. Would you mind showing people how to do that?
Sure. So, it's totally fine. The one thing I want to clarify is I know that last week we talked about when we send ad traffic specific for a contest as opposed to a like campaign that happens to land on a contest, you can send it to either one. But you may want to clarify that for people because I know I would be confused if I was on the other end.
Yeah, the main thing is ideally I want you to run all of your traffic to a landing page so you can use pixels and everything else. But before we can get into the karate chop, we got to do that wax on, wax off stuff, and that's all pre-qualifying your audience. I'm going to save you a ton of money by running some like campaigns to really show where your audience is. So this would be the only time ever, and you can quote me on saying this, this is the only time ever that I would want you to run a like campaign that's going to go to a specific tab. Only run contests. I'll show you how to set up the like campaign here in just a little bit with some additional videos, and I'll go over that more next week. But this is the only time I would ever say send traffic over to the tab is while you're building likes. And then once you kind of quantified your audience, then you're going to know your keywords, your ad copy, and you're going to send it directly over to the landing page just to be crystal clear.
Okay. So Tony, since you don't have any likes on your page yet, I'm going to go ahead and install it because it's probably a pretty low risk that people are going to actually find this if you're not ready. So you may notice if you've used our software before that we ask you to connect your personal Facebook account. We don't publish to your personal page. What we do is we ask you to connect your personal accounts, then we get a list of the business pages that you're an admin of. So in this case, oops, I guess it's Hanchel. I'm sorry, I accidentally said Hatchel. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and just pick the one fan page he does have here. And then I'm just going to say something simple like enter to win and click save and continue. And what you see now, literally that simple, what you see now is we give you this little button called install on Facebook. So I'm going to click that. Done. That's it. That's all it takes. And so now when I go to this URL, it will redirect me to the tab. So if you were running this as an ad campaign, you would want to use where it was not a like campaign, but it was just a normal ad. And for some reason you wanted to do it to the tab. I know that Kurt's can tell you not to, and I agree. But if you wanted to do that, you would want to use this URL because it actually is a smart mobile detection link. I'm assuming, Kurt, that you're gonna, if you have them land on this, that you're gonna be targeting desktop traffic. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right. So that's a key point, and I know we'll get more into that next week, because only desktops are going to be able to see this version of the URL up here. Okay. So that's how that works. But now he has this tab installed. So when you're running a like campaign and you want to say, hey, after someone clicks like or clicks through, where do they land? You can have them land on this page. Is that what you're thinking, Kurt?
Absolutely, yes.
Great. So that, as you saw, it literally was just a couple clicks. You go into your Facebook tab settings after you've connected your account. You just pick from a drop down from the available pages. If you don't see a page here because you recently added it, just go into your integrations tab here where you have the Facebook option and just click reconnect. And that tells our system to refresh the list of pages you have access to. But if it's an existing page and you just pick it here or say what you want it to say on the tab, which if I show you here, if we just went to his timeline, all that wording is just what it says next to the icon right here on the list of apps. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be a full explanation because, if they're doing the like campaign, they're just going to end up here. If you're going to be posting about it in your feed, it's going to show up differently anyway. So hopefully that's pretty clear. And does that answer everything you wanted there, Kurt?
That's good. That's great.
Great. So, there's a couple more questions here about copy and whatnot. I think we're sort of out of time today, but what I will be happy to do, Kurt, I don't know, do you have a few more minutes? I know you're usually pretty locked up. This is about when you're supposed to end.
I'm good for another, actually 15, 20 minutes, so I'm good.
Okay, so what I'm going to do then is let me just pull us out of this field of view here for a second, and let me go into Michelle's campaign. All right, Michelle, you wanted us to look at your copy. So which one of these? Okay, well, that one's not all the way through. And neither is that one. So unfortunately, Michelle, it looks like you're not really at a spot yet. I see you have some of it, but yeah, I mean, we're not here to totally write copy from scratch. We'd be happy to take a look at stuff. But in this case, I see that you have some of the description in here. I see that you're really focused on the value, which is okay, but it needs to be quantified. And I think you have a better opportunity there to do it in the video, like what you did on what we saw before. So hopefully that helps. Right, the video is going to be the place to focus on that. Let's take a look at what you got here. All right. Yep. So you have your video, okay, which I left you some feedback in the group on that. So the biggest thing is going to be probably your headline. So Kurt, if we ever come up with a headline, that'll probably be the most impactful thing we can do. So she's giving away. I'm not sure what one. Oh, I see the number 2, like 1-to-1. Gotcha. One-on-one coaching. And then she also is giving away video training products on marketing from email marketing, Facebook and YouTube. This kind of goes back to what we talked about with Lorraine. She is a similar funnel. It's also MOB. And then she'll also pay for the first ad campaign. So, Kurt, if you want to help me out here, we can come up with a headline for her for the opt-in offer.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things is we want to take a look at the avatar again and the emotional road that the avatar is going down. So, for instance, is your avatar new to online marketing? Are you just starting to market your business online, looking for new paid marketing strategies online? I would ask a question to connect with your avatar. That's the very first thing that I would do. And it would be an emotional question, which is tied to, obviously, your next sentence. I don't remember who said this as a copywriter, which I thought was brilliant. What you do is your first sentence, the third sentence, Your fourth sentence will sell the fifth sentence, right? And they almost even go back and say the first word sells the second word. So what's the emotional question? What's the emotional thing that you're trying to solve for this avatar, for instance, when they're coming in? Lots of different online traffic strategies, confusing or confused by different online marketing strategies. I would kind of, and this, we may not be able to answer this in this call, but I would take a look introspectively of thinking, okay, for my avatar, what would be a big emotional struggle that they're carrying on with? Because being able to relate and say, I understand, I once did that as well, I am giving away, and then you can talk about giving away your consulting session, which we'll talk about, and then hear whatever pain that avatar has when they hit your page. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I know we're not writing copy. The thing is what I really struggle with, and I'm just going to be open with everybody, and Travis is going to know this too. It's easy for me to give the answers, but if I give the answers, I'm only catching the fish. If I teach people on how to fish, they'll always be able to do it on their own. So I'm just apprehensive of writing the exact copy, and I want to be able basically to empower more to give you some different ideas. So I hope that makes sense, everybody.
Yeah, so what I'm writing here isn't going to be even close to final, but it should help sort of point you in the right direction, Michelle. So, yeah, new to online marketing, flustered by digital marketing, or flustered by marketing software, perhaps, right? Because you're saying 40 plus. Let me hold your hand and show you exactly how to do it without being distracted by shiny objects or something to that nature. Mm-hmm. So I would sort of use this as a premise, rework it until it feels right, and then I would then say, okay, how am I going to help people understand that down here? The other thing, I know you did autoplay on your video. I know we have that checked by default, but I don't know. It's something you can test, but I personally would not autoplay. So that's
Facebook doesn't typically like that.
Yeah, they get touchy. So I'm just going to ahead and uncheck that for you. Okay, guys. And so Ben, I know you had another quick question here about saying you said on their Facebook page, the tab doesn't show up until you click on Facebook contests listed under apps. That's totally correct. Now, remember we said we're only going to drive traffic to that tab. In this case, at the end of a like campaign, it doesn't matter if it's super visible on the page itself, because the ad is going to be about liking the page, and the end result of that will be them just ending up on the tab. When it comes time to actually driving traffic direct to a contest for the explicit reason of driving traffic to a contest, it doesn't matter that it's sort of hidden under that list of apps installed on the page. You're not going to get much organic play on that. That's right. But we're going to help you create actual ads that are newsfeed ads and whatnot, so that you can actually focus in on the contest itself. We never expect it to get a lot of traffic on that list on the side. It just happens to get listed there when it's in a tab. So don't worry about that, about the fact that it's just in a list on the side. We will show you specifically how to get the traffic and get awareness of it, not because it's in some sidebar list, right? It's clearly that we would never expect you to get a lot of traffic with that. So just wanted to be clear, and hopefully that clears it up a little bit. Yeah, sorry if that does feel complicated, Ben. We're going to try to break it down step by step. That's why I didn't want to get ahead and really talk about, it's just off to the side. But that's what it is. So as you saw, it was very easy to get it installed, and that's all you have to worry about at this point, right? It's not until next week that we worry about, okay, now how are we going to start generating that audience and the traffic? That will be its own component. So hopefully breaking it out like that is going to help you. And like a summary of steps, do you have this is a step-by-step video of this portion, and I know that Kurt will walk you through step-by-step on the parts of the Facebook ads, so that should take care of you. All right, great. So I think that we're pretty much out of time. And yeah, Tony, no drama about it being live on your Facebook page. Don't worry about that for now. Just get those images tightened up and start on your follow-up sequence. But okay, well, I know we're out of time. So if you guys have additional questions, go ahead and throw them into the group. Don't worry, we're still here for you. And we're also going to do the 1 hour lunch and learn on Friday, as always. So we will be there for an hour to go through more of this kind of stuff and answer any questions you guys hit. But the big thing is, make sure you've made it all the way through your contest configuration so that, when you do ask for help and we jump in here, you have everything for us to go and look at all the different moving parts and make sure that you're all buttoned up and ready to go by next week when it's time to start building up that Facebook audience. So thank you everyone for coming out. We had better attendance today than usual. So this was fantastic. Thank you guys.
Thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Have a great day.